Hello there. So, into full force, what's going on with the coronavirus? More games postponed or possibly suspended in the last day or so. Most notably being the Premier League, of course, with the number of cases expanding with Mikel Arteta and Hudson-Odoi for Chelsea, and a few other things as well too. If we have a look at recent things that have been postponed in all of the sport, got all British football until the 3rd of April. The UEFA has postponed next week's Champions League and Europa League fixtures recently. France and Germany followed suit after the Premier League decided to postpone last night, and the Dutch, Portuguese, Spanish and USA leagues were involved prior to that. So just in the last couple of days, it's all of the main divisions and in Europe there, which I've been doing the Premier League, Scottish Premiership, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Liga 1 predictions. So they all delayed at this moment in time. So that's the situation, and other events including the Rugby Union Six Nation match between Wales and Scotland have been postponed. England Test Series affected as well too. The golf and the Masters, some cycling in Hungary, Formula 1 and Formula E events as well too. So loads of stuff as well, but there are a few but very small events that are actually going to head now, with some rugby league fixtures in the UK, some netball games, some basketball games in Scotland, because of course the Scottish Premiership has also been affected. Olympic qualifying games with the boxing, not that it seems likely that the Olympics will still go ahead as scheduled, and All England Open badminton, and the Australia-New Zealand cricket match there is still going ahead tomorrow in Sydney. So that's how I'm able to somehow do these A-League streams there tonight and for yesterday. Brisbane Roar to play against the Central Coast Mariners yesterday, winning 1-0. But otherwise, loads of sports that aren't happening. The situation with the Tokyo 2020 Games, Japan Olympics Minister could be postponed until later in the year if the coronavirus outbreak makes their schedule start on the July the 24th unfeasible. So no confirmation on that, and no confirmation on the 2020 Euros, even though that is scheduled for Tuesday, but surely that has to be postponed, as we still have to try and finish this Premier League season, as well as the other seasons in Scotland, Spain, Italy, Germany, and basically the whole west of Europe as well too, is in free flow mode. So the situation on the table in the Premier League, Liverpool got themselves a 25-point lead over Manchester City, and they surely won the title, so it'll be only fair if they awarded the title to Liverpool, whatever way they decide is the best. Possible options of saying, I heard some things saying about the season to be voided, which would be really tragic and not the best case of action. What they should be doing is waiting until everything's better there and then finishing off the matches when they get a chance to finish off the 38 games to make it really fair for all these clubs there, and especially down the bottom here where it's really, really tight with the likes of Bournemouth, Watford, West Ham and Brighton, all with a chance of being relegated or staying up. Otherwise Watford might just survive on goal difference with still 9 games to go, and depending on their run of fixtures in the last few matches as well too, might be more favourable than others that they could decide to. If we have a look at the Champions League and Europa League plans, there's some plans of reducing it from a 2-league to a 1-league ties when they're able to kick off again. So that will reduce the number of fixtures there, with one league, neutral venue, which makes quite a bit of sense. So yeah, Liverpool have been knocked out the champions there recently, and yeah, basically says about the Euro 2020 being pushed back to 2021. Watford being Liverpool and still coming last. Well, Watford's at this stage, they 17th on the table there. But yeah, we're just talking about what they're going to do with the situation in these European leagues there. Are they going to cancel the season in its entirety, and that will require all the teams to start again from scratch? Are they going to carry on with how they are on the table at the moment and includes next season as well too? Are they going to play the remaining 8-9 matches of the season at a later date, which to me makes the most sense there? Make sure the finishes off in its entirety before you go ahead and start another season. But there was also some issues with player contracts expiring at the end of June, I believe. Well, let's start with the CPU. Oh shoot. Sorry about that. I didn't have it on mute again. Apologies. How long have I been doing this live stream for? 4 minutes, 6 minutes? Okay, so that should be better now there. National Sports Loaded, hopefully. Man, I wish I had that sort of from the very start. Yeah. And I don't really want to start this live stream yet again, so... Is that all better? National Sports Loaded? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, it should be probably be me echoing this whole entire time. As Scatman discovered recently as well too. So that's the situation in the Premier League table at the moment. And yeah, Liverpool surely going to win the season's title. Liverpool set to be given Premier League title as season is ended now due to the coronavirus in the last 4 hours. So if they just stop the season right now, it'd be really unfair for certain clubs that have ambitions of making those Champions League, the Europa League spots. And no, I can hear you. So you can hear me, or you could hear me before anyway, but it would have been a lot more annoying because of the extra sound from the computer previously, since I didn't have that on mute. So if we look at this update here, Liverpool set to be handed the Premier League title as season is ended now due to the coronavirus, with a 22-team division set up, 5 teams relegated, and EFL Cup acts to make room for more games in the 2020-21 season. The CPU is the battery, I meant. It's making a weird noise. Oh, so it's really loud. That's not good. Yeah, it's been getting a lot louder recently, I guess. Apologies. So, yeah, this is some latest development news there I wasn't aware of. 22-team division set up with 5 teams relegated. Possible for next season there, so get an extra couple of teams promoted from the Championship. Presumably, I suppose, Leeds and West Brom. And then 5 teams to be relegated, so you probably see the likes of Norwich and Watford and those teams being out for next season as well too. So what do we think about that idea? What games are being cancelled? Again, yes, there's more games being cancelled. Got the Premier League, the Scottish Premiership as well too added into the mix, and a few other sports there. So you basically have nothing on these days. Just the Super Rugby matches out of New Zealand, they going on. They got the A-League matches that's still going on, so I'll be able to do that to watch on there tonight, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, for everything else that I do predictions on, like the MLS and the USA is being postponed, Liga 1, Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, Scottish Premiership and the Premier League added into the mix, as well as the top 4 divisions in Premier League, well, in England. And yeah, lots of stuff being affected by the situation. And yeah, so the latest news, apparently there might be a 22 team setup for next season if the season ends right now with how they are situated on at the table at the moment. But the fairest way, I thought, would have been just to finish off the 9 matches of the season behind closed doors in a month's time, once the players and managers and things like that do have the symptoms, do have the virus, is able to recover, and then have the remaining games behind closed doors, and then yeah, just make sure that they're not interactive with any other people outside where they are. So maybe they could be just in the stadium, isolated together just to play matches or something like that. But yeah, you think the season should just come to its natural conclusion as the best course of action. But there's all these other options being thrown up in the air of what they're going to do. If we just search for a different division there and then go on the news, see a few different things that they have going on. So English Football Premier League suspended until April because of the coronavirus, and that was just in the last day there. So yeah, lots of things taking effect. So yeah, Liverpool will be awarded with the Premier League if they are unable to finish, and if they cancel the season entirely, then Liverpool will miss out on the title somehow, but that seems like it's more of an unlikely option to happen. Yeah, so Hudson-Odoi for Chelsea, the club that I support, and Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta was impacted as well too. So if we look at other divisions, Serie A has been postponed for quite a bit longer, as there was Juventus players impacted, as well as some Sampdoria players as well too. So we got Serie A clubs reject one of the 3 options to decide total relegation. So that would be an interesting article to have a look at there. So what option have they eliminated? Yeah, there's lots of like a playoff system as well too going on. So if the top few teams that's in the league, or the top few teams that's at the bottom there, just to play 1 or 2 or so matches against each other, and then decide it that way is a potential option. So yeah, Italy, lots of cases for them, 2,076 cases, 12,462 confirmed. So 3 options for Serie A null and void. So the first option is to declare no winner of Serie A and effectively cancel this year. Something that did happen in recent memory in 2004-2005 season, with Juventus losing the title with scandal thing going on, the Mogate scandal. So yeah, no title awarded, and European competition places for the next season will be based on the current season. Juventus, Lazio, Inter and Atalanta would play in the Champions League, while Roma and Napoli would be in the Europa League. Option would see no relegation from the top flight, so no Brescia, Spal and Lecce, currently occupying in the bottom 3 positions, would remain in Serie A, to the detriment of teams like Benevento, Crotone and Frosinone, who are leading in Serie B. So it does have an extra impact of all those teams in the lower divisions as well too. So option 2 would be Juventus to be named champions, as currently Juventus are top of the table out in Italy, and be awarded the title. If you go based on last season or for the season, it would be Juventus naming champions. But it's quite unfair considering Lazio are just 1 point behind them in Serie A. So if we get up the league table just to show you, in Italy there. So got Juventus on top, 63 points, Lazio 62, Inter Milan falling apart a little bit, 54 points. And down towards the bottom, got teams like Brescia, Spal and Lecce in the midst, with a few other teams not too far ahead of them there. It seems like Torino is going to get themselves into the relegation battle if they continue as well too. And another option, playoff time. Yeah, so a third option would be considered was that if the conditions in the country improve, they would have two separate playoff tournaments, one for the title and one for relegation, as I was talking about. The teams in the middle of the table would be unaffected as they don't have anything to play for. On Friday, however, the Leeds clubs held a assembly by video conference and rejected this idea, so there will be no playoff system as one option that's been cancelled out. So that's some of the updates in Italy there. We have a look to see what's happening in Spain, so La Liga, see what else is going on, as it's impacted all over the place. Yeah, so La Liga suspended over coronavirus after a Real Madrid player got in contact with the coronavirus. So let's have a look at that one. And scroll down, Real Madrid players placed in isolation. It was one of the club's basketball players actually that got tested positive, and since Real Madrid's go alongside with the basketball players there, then they were placed under isolation as a precaution measure. So that's where the Champions League match against Manchester City got postponed, and now their entire league season has been postponed for at least the next 2 weeks, from what I've been hearing. So 4 scenarios which will decide the outcome of La Liga, so we better have a look at this one here. So it'll probably be quite similar stuff there, and presumably whatever method they decide for La Liga, for Serie A, or for the Premier League, you think that method will go across the board for all these different divisions that are under the same sort of situation. So first scenario, play all the remaining games, as I was alluding to. This is the method I agree with the most, with La Liga postponing the next 2 match days, week 28 and week 29, and week 32 and 33. But yeah, just finishing off all those games that they got left to go in the season, and then postponing the whole football calendar with the Euros as well coming up in June, July until next year or something like that, and then I guess the break that they normally have after between the Premier League and the Euros, or between the Euros and the start of the next season, probably just have to scrap that and go from one season to the next season, possibly. The second scenario is declare the season null and void, so it means that the season doesn't count at all, and then you just have to go based on the last season, keeping the same teams with no promotion or relegation. And third scenario is end the season now on how they're situated on the table at the moment, with Real Madrid and Barcelona being in a big title battle there this season, switching places quite often. Be quite frustrating not to see who actually would have won the title. Of course, the head-to-head record is what matters at the end, so that means Real Madrid would, in that case, be doing better than Barcelona, but currently Barcelona actually higher up on the table than them, so you can go either way for that one there. And fourth scenario, base the league on results of the first round of matches. Okay, this one's an interesting one there, because the final half of matches is quite unfair of where they're situated at the moment, because some teams might argue they got tougher or easier fixtures to play, but if you're going on the first half results, then that would be a bit more fair, as all clubs have played each other once. but they wouldn't have thought they would have been playing for the title that way, so they might have given up a few points there and there to concentrate on European positions instead. So the team would top the table after the first round of matches would be crowned champions, with the teams in the final 3 places relegated. At least this way that all the clubs would have faced each other once. In that scenario, Barcelona would have been the La Liga champions, beating Real Madrid on goal difference as both teams reached the midway point on 40 points. Atletico and Seville would qualify for the Europa League. Mallorca, Leganes and Espanyol will go down a division. The option could employ a solution using Serie A players to decide the league title and who is relegated, as long as there's time to play those matches, but it seems like this option is not going to happen there. So feel free to leave me your thoughts and comments below there on what you think they should do about this situation out in Spain, out in England and the rest of Europe there, because there's still lots of things up in the air. They still haven't officially postponed the Euros as well too, as that's to be decided on Tuesday. It's having a big impact all across the world. In my country, New Zealand there, we had a 6th case of the coronavirus just today, so loads of cases all the time around the place, so it's pretty tough and pretty uncertain times. If we have a look at the Bundesliga, see if they got any other updates they can give us. And the news. And the Bundesliga, there's good 4 teams that's fighting out for the title there, so that would be such a shame if they are unable to see who goes on and wins that. Yeah, so Bundesliga finally postponed matches due to the coronavirus 11 hours ago, because they were following suits of the Premier League and Liga 1 for France that was joining in as well too. But Paderborn, Killen's first Bundesliga player diagnosed with the virus there. Anything else from Liga 1 in France? News. Leon President calls for Liga 1 season to be voided after coronavirus suspension. So the president wants the season to be done altogether, but the Leon manager, but Leon, how they situate on the table, all the way down to 7th there, so not the best season for them, so that's why they don't necessarily want it, because they're a good 9 points off those Europa League, Champions League positions there. So you can't really listen to club managers or club presidents there, because they're just going to do what's best for themselves. So Bundesliga and Liga 1 seasons suspended over coronavirus as they join Serie A and La Liga in scrapping games, so they're a bit late to the party there. But strangely, some events that did go ahead was this Cheltenham horse racing event out in England there, which attracted around 70,000 fans there. So what impact is the Cheltenham Festival going to have on the rest of the UK, as you got a whole bunch of spectators beside each other cheering on their favourite horses, but at the same time a big risk of getting the virus themselves as well too. But there won't be any of these type of events coming up in the near future. I guess it might have been a little bit too late to cancel it entirely, but considering they took measures for everything else and large sport gatherings and other festival things going on and concerts, why couldn't they do it for the Cheltenham Festival? They just wanted a little bit extra cash in their pocket or something at the end of the day. But yeah, I think that's just about it, unless Blake Wine or National Sports Loaded wants to add anything to the mix there. I'll be still doing other league predictions. There's still like the likes of the Bolivian Football League that's going on, we might have a look at. as well too, and yeah, Egypt or what other competitions are going on. I think Argentina, Brazil, more so South American leagues competitions. Might have a look at and make some predictions for those games, just to fill in the gaps for all the leagues that are currently not happening at the moment. So the strongest winning 2-1 there the other day. Always Weddy 4-1 defeat, so not good for them as they were top of the table. So it's a very tight division here. Look at that, 21, 20, 20, 19, 19, 19. So it could be really exciting to get involved and start to look at other leagues that is going around in the world. And of course, be back again for the A-League watch-along matches tonight there. I think I am doing both games. Definitely doing the game that's in 3.5 hours time, and there's also another match in an hour's time there. So thumbs up, subscribe, check out that and get involved, and hopefully you enjoyed the stream there. Cheers.